I guess we'll end on this weird thing James Cameron said.
Oh, that's fun.
The Twitter one is only doing, the moral cop-out one where he's saying Oppenheimer's a moral cop-out for not showing Japanese bombing. I felt that it dodged the subject. And, of course, people are forming massive opinions around that.
On Twitter? No.
But the full quote, John, why don't you read it?
Deadline asks, you say this could be your lowest grossing film because of the subject matter. How surprised were you that Christopher Nolan's movie Oppenheimer grossed almost $1 billion and won 7 Oscars? Clearly people are interested in that whole splitting of the atom, to which Cameron responds, yeah. It's interesting what he stayed away from. Look, I love the filmmaking, but I did feel that it was a bit of a moral cop-out because it's not like Oppenheimer didn't know the effects. He's got one brief scene in the film where we see, and I don't like to criticize another filmmaker's film, but there's only one brief moment where he sees some charred bodies in the audience, and then the film goes on to show how it deeply moved him. But I felt that it dodged the subject. I don't know whether the studio or Chris felt that that was a third rail they didn't want to touch, but I want to go straight at that third rail. I'm just stupid that way.
I feel like he's kind of missing the point of the movie.
Yep.
But he's not the first person to say this. We've heard this criticism before.
Not usually from smart people.
Yeah, it's true. And he's smart. He's a very smart
James
guy.
Cameron.
He's genius. And he is totally criticizing another filmmaker's movie.
He's also lacking a moral compass lately.
With the AI stuff.
Yeah, like he's sacrificing lives today while condemning someone for not showing lives. I don't know. I mean, sorry. Please give me your thoughts.
I mean, to me, I just don't feel like he gets the scene. The scene is
the movie.
It's the whole point is it's the POV of him. He wasn't there on the grounds for this. He didn't visit the ground site. So, yeah, it would be the first time they would cut away from the movie's called Oppenheimer, and it's a very specific perspective, and they don't break that perspective.
It's not called Hiroshima or Nagasaki, and it involves those horrific moments and events, and it is about those horrific moments and events, but only in that it's about the man that felt impossible to understand guilt of the knowledge of the ramifications.
Yeah.
I think the ramifications are clear from day one of the film. Like he knows when he sets out on this journey the horrors of what it is, and then he lives in complete brokenness for causing and allowing it. Like the whole movie is him, I feel, acknowledging the thing that he claims in this quote not to acknowledge. Now, this is a tiny quote, obviously taken with very minimal context, but there is a hollowness to the statement that I feel in some of James Cameron's latest work that I think is interesting, that he would say that about his work. Like, to me, the environmental nature of Avatar is very important, but I feel more drawn to actually do anything about it watching Ferngully. Like, I think there's a hollowness to Avatar that doesn't get criticized because of the spectacle.
I mean, this is what you're touching on is what I feel like James Cameron was putting how he would make it, and I feel like he would kind of make a spectacle of the,
that's what I'm saying, of the death, which is
bombing, right? Yeah,
horrific in its own way.
Yeah, he would make the Terminator 2.
That's what's so ironic about the guy that's like being a proponent for AI who invented Skynet, which he knows the dangers of.
Yeah.
Like the entire Oppenheimer press tour around the movie was making sure the dangers of technology advancing to the point of causing harm was inherent to not just the movie, but the press.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, dude is like, what are you going to do? I'll take lots of jobs. Like, that's crazy.
And the movie also is showing that these people are making this on their grounds, their terrain. They're celebrating what they've been able to build. The American people in the auditorium are celebrating.
And it's a horror scene.
And you're able to celebrate and rejoice in this and victory when you keep yourself at a distance of the actual ramifications and the lives that were lost when you don't expose yourself to it.
Yeah.
But in that scene that he's touching on, it's not about showing the aftermath of the burned bodies. It is showing that he is aware of the ramifications and the lives and the harm that was caused. He cannot participate with the distance that everyone else is able to do. So I think he's kind of missing the point of not showing it.
Yeah, I agree. And that it's just as an odd quote from a smart man.
Well, and to what you said, the Deadline interviewer does immediately follow up by saying Nolan answered that criticism by basically saying, I hope somebody tells that story, but to me, this wasn't that story.
Yeah. Did he respond to that?
He said, okay, I'll put up my hand. I'll do it, Chris. No problem. You come to my premiere and say nice things. I can't tell you today what's going to be in the movie. I've been making notes for 15 years, and I haven't read a word of the script yet. But there's a point where it's all there, and you start to write. That's how I always work.
Wait, what? That's a real thing?
Apparently, yeah. This I'm just reading off the interview.
And he said all that?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
He's a weird man.
He's a weird man. Yes, Oppenheimer 2 coming soon from the other POV and a man that makes action spectacles. I don't know. I really like James Cameron. He's made one of my 26 5-star films. Like,
I feel like he'll do that. The Hiroshima story will be about a couple in love who are trying to escape and they're not able to. That's what James Cameron does.
yeah.
Yeah, man. And there will be really, really evil Americans and really, really good Japanese.
Yeah, exactly. It's so tricky. And I do like James Cameron, but like that is an odd read of a film that I think is pretty clear.
What I picked up on this conversation is I liked Way of Water way more than you did.
I think it's one of the most visually stunning hollow narratives that made $1 billion, which is impressive because Transformers movies also made $1 billion.
I loved The Way of Water. I really did.
I felt so little that I was worried that I was developing sociopathy.
Oh,
and then I saw it a second time and felt even weirder about people crying. And I was like, what am I misreading? It just the writing and the stiffness and the heavy-handedness made me go like, guys, you see the same movie. And like, I'm gonna be day one, Avatar 72, you know? But like at the same time, I really wish he was making stuff like he did The Abyss and I would rather see him come back to Terminator in the time we need it. But right now he's working for the Terminators.
Well, he needs to get some Avatar movies done.
That's true. He's AI. He's like, you know what? Humanity's really caused a lot of environmental harm. Let me go ahead and AI render this scene that's going to drain 82 lakes. Send.
I'm often saying Terminator 2 and The Matrix are like they often compete for my favorite movie of all time. The Matrix is definitely a much smarter movie. But I still think I'd give it to Terminator 2.
I love Terminator 2.
Yeah,
It's got the heart factor.
Yeah, it's got the more of the emotion that I like. Yeah.
The Abyss is my favorite James Cameron film, and we reacted on the channel, and I love Terminator 2, but I think The Abyss is like all of the heart I wanted from Avatar. Like, it's so human, and it's such an alien story. And that's what I think upset me about Way of Water. Because I thought Avatar 1 was going to set up a beautiful world so that he could invest in the characters. And he could invest in making us care about this world. And then I hear people that are like, you know, I'm so depressed because Pandora is not real and people going to therapy because... And I'm like, I didn't see that movie. Yeah. I'd love to. Like, I want to feel what other people feel with Avatar.
I didn't feel it at all with the first one.
Really?
I really didn't. I did not experience. I actually we didn't have a channel, and then I avoided the trailers. When the trailers would play in the theaters, I would run out of the theater.
Wow.
I wanted to see nothing. And all I saw was a poster. That's all I saw. So I thought I would get the ultimate immersive experience. And I just sat there for most of it going, why do I feel absolutely nothing? And why am I waiting for this movie to end?
That's how I felt with Way of Water, because I had built it up to where you were with the first one of like, this is the one I'm a feel. And I was like,
yeah, I didn't feel jack in the first one, but I liked it more on the rewatch at home. But I did.
That's ironic.
I know, really, right? It's weird, right?
Of any movie, you know, Avatar really hit me at home.
At home, I was like, yeah, it's fine, it's fun. But yeah, the Way of Water I did enjoy. But that's our thoughts on that.